The Nationals take on the Cubs, 2:20 Eastern first pitch at Wrigley Field in Chicago. The Cubbies are minus 155, totals at 9. No movement on the total as of yet. We did see a 10-cent move towards Chicago in the early wagering. The Cubbies open $1.45 up to 155. Total opening remains at 9. Right now, the Nationals are plus 140 on the money line. And at the moment, the Cubbies are taking 56% of the consensus action. Now, we have Joe Ross for the Nats, Jose Quintana for the Cubs. Quintana's 11-7 with a 3.91 ERA. He also has 131 strikeouts and just 142 innings pitched. Joe Ross on the other side for Washington, 3-3 on the year, 5.48 ERA, 1.59 WHIP. He's also walked 22 batters and 46 innings pitched. The Cubbies are 44-20 at home this year, 2 games ahead in that second wild card spot in the National League. They also rank second in offensive walks at home, 4th in runs allowed at home. Now the Nationals on the other side, they are 15th in road hits, winners in just 22 out of 45 as the official underdog. When it comes to the total, Washington is 5-2 to the over in their last 7, 6-2 to the over in their last 8 taking on the Cubs. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean Chicago minus 155 and the over 9 runs in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just got to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for Saturday's Major League Baseball action. Hopefully you guys are having a good weekend, plenty of plans. I know that I have a jam-packed full weekend ahead of me, so it involves birthday parties and gentlemen's clubs and maybe just a little bit of gambling. So I got a big weekend ahead of me. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully you have the same, whether it's doing a lot or relaxing, watching a few games, drinking a few beers. Whatever you got to do to get the job done, the weekend is here, and I am certainly happy about that. Now, guys, I got to remind you real quick to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. I do daily plays on that site. We have a bunch of different memberships and packages, very affordable, a lot of great information there. Memberships begin at just $1.99 per month. I share my record with you guys on that site as well. That's a part of the free content. So just go ahead and check it out. Patreon.com/BrockPage. Link for that site is in the description section below. Now we got to get into some more games here. We got a really nice kind of juicy full slate here. So let's go ahead and see if we can pick some winners. We got ourselves a little bit of a mixture of underdogs. So let's go ahead and see who they are. And as always, a wise man once told me, tell your subscribers or tell your viewers to hit the like button and subscribe. I don't know. I don't normally say that, but smash that like button and subscribe and get the notifications so whenever I upload, it'll go right to your phone and you'll be notified as soon as that video is live. All right, let's get into some more Saturday action. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got a doozy. Yankees, Dodgers, 4:05 Los Angeles. The Dodgers are minus 135, totals 9.5. Now, we haven't seen a whole lot of movement on the money line. Pretty good two-way action there. I think this is going to be a very heavily bet game. We did see a little bit of movement upward on the total. So once again, the Dodgers open and remains minus 135. Total open 9 up to 9.5. 59% of the consensus is leaning toward Los Angeles. 74% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Yankees are plus 125 on the money line. The Dodgers plus $1.30 on the run line. We have CC Sabathia for the Yankees, Tony Gonsolin for the Dodgers. Now, CC comes into this game with 87 punch-outs in just 93 innings pitched. The Yankees have the best record in the American League. They are 84-46 overall for the year, 35-26 when traveling. They also rank first in scoring in Major League Baseball, second in road hits, second in road walks. Now, the Dodgers have won just 2 out of their last 6 at home taking on the Yankees. They've also covered just 34 out of 68 at home this year. And of course, when I refer to covering or the number or ATS against the spread, I'm referring to the run line in Major League Baseball. The Dodgers have also dropped 4 out of their last 8 ball games. And when it comes to the total, the Yankees are 44-17 to the over when traveling. I'm going to lean New York Yankees plus 1.5 and the over 9.5 runs in that game. Next matchup, Phillies, Marlins, 6-10 Miami. The Phils are minus 125, totals at 9. No movement on the total as of yet. We saw a 30-cent fade of the Phils in the early wagering. Philadelphia open $1.55, all the way down to $1.25. Totals at 9. 68% leaning toward the Phillies, 73% shaded toward the over. Right now the Fish are plus 115 on the money line. The Phillies plus $1.40 on the run line. We have Zach Eflin for the Phils, Jordan Yamamoto for the Marlins. Yamamoto's 4-4 with a 4.31 ERA. He's also walked 26 batters in 64 innings. Zach Eflin on the other side, I wrote down 10 strikeouts. I think it's 110 strikeouts and 122 innings pitched. You guys will have to fact check that for me. But for some reason, I wrote down Zach Eflin having 10 strikeouts and 122 innings pitched. I think that's supposed to be 110 strikeouts. But anyway, regardless of that, Philadelphia's 9th in offensive walks, 6-3 in their last 9. They're also very good when favored, 48-32 as the favorite. Now the Marlins on the other side, losers in 6 out of their last 7. They've also won just 41. They've won just 41 out of. Well, I can't do the math here, but they're just 41-79 as the underdog. Just 41-79 as the underdog. They also possess the worst record in the National League. Now, total-wise, the Marlins are 5-2 to the over in their last 7 at home, taking on the Phils. I'm going to lean Philadelphia minus 125 in the over 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, Reds, Pirates, 7:05 Pittsburgh. The Reds are minus 110, totals at 9. We saw a 10-cent move toward Cincinnati in the early wagering. No movement on the total as of yet. The Reds open plus $1, now minus 110. Total opening remains at 9. 69% are leaning Reds, 64% shaded toward the under. Right now the Pirates are minus 102 on the money line. The Reds plus $1.50 on the run line. We have Alex Wood for the Reds, Trevor Williams for the Pirates. Williams is 5-6 on the year with a 5.65 ERA and a 1.45 WHIP. Alex Wood on the other side for the Reds, 21 strikeouts and just 24 innings pitched. The Reds are 3rd in runs allowed on the road, 6th in hits allowed in that same category. The Reds are 37-22 against the spread when traveling, 4th in striking batters out on the road. Now the Pirates, winners in just 3 out of their last 9. They've also dropped 14 out of their last 19 ball games. They rank 26th in runs allowed, 28th in walks allowed at home. And when it comes to the total, Pittsburgh is 41-23 to the over at PNC Park. Give me the Reds minus $1.10 and the over 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, Rays, Orioles, 7:05 Baltimore. No line for this game. No line for this game currently off the board. We have Jose Alvarado for the Rays, John Means for the O's. Means is just 8-9 on the year. Alvarado for the Rays, 39 punch outs and just 29 innings pitched. Baltimore is last in runs allowed, 29th in hits allowed, which is second to last in Major League Baseball. They are the second worst team in MLB. Now, Tampa Bay on the other side, they're a half a game ahead for that first wild card spot in the American League. They're 76-54 overall for the year, 42-23 when traveling. Give me the Rays winning that one outright for some money line cash. Next game, Braves, Mets, 7-10 Flushing Queens. The Mets are minus 110, totals at 8. We saw a 15-cent fade of New York and movement downward on the total. The Mets open $1.25 down to 110. Total open 8.5 down to 8 flat. 57% are leaning Braves, 56% shaded toward the under. Right now, Atlanta's minus 101 on the money line. The Mets plus $1.85 on the run line. We have Max Fried for the Braves, Zach Wheeler for the Mets. Wheeler's coming into this game with a 4.40 ERA and a 1.27 WHIP. Fried on the other side for Atlanta, 14-4 on the year, 3.84 ERA, 134 strikeouts and just 131 innings. The Braves are in first place in the NL East, 78-52 for the year, 26 games over 500. They're 6 games ahead of Washington in the division. They rank 6th in scoring, 7th in hits. The Mets on the other side, just 29-30 against the spread at home. They've also won just 4 out of their last 14 at home, taking on the Braves. The Mets are 20th in hits at home, 20th in offensive walks at home. When it comes to the total, the Braves are 71% to the over in their last 7 when traveling. I'm going to lean Atlanta minus 101. and the over 8 runs in that game. Next matchup, Rangers, White Sox, 7-10 guaranteed rate field in Chicago. The White Sox are minus 135, totals 9.5. Nickel move toward the White Sox and movement downward on the total. Chicago open 130 up to 135. Total open 10 down to 9.5. 63% are leaning White Sox, 60% shaded toward the over. Right now the Rangers are plus 125 on the money line. The White Sox plus $1.45 on the run line. We have Colby Allard for the Rangers, Ivan Nova for the White Sox. The White Sox have won 4 out of their last 5. They're also 6-1 in their last 7 at home taking on the Rangers. Speaking of the Rangers, they've dropped 8 out of their last 10 when traveling. Once again, Texas just 2-8 in their last 10 on the road. They've also won just 5 out of their last 18 at any location. The Rangers have also won just 25 out of 65 when traveling. Now, total-wise, the Rangers are 37-28 to the over on the road. Give me the White Sox minus 135 and the over 9.5 in that game. Next matchup, Royals, Indians, 7-10 Cleveland. The Indians are 340, totals at 9. Nickel move toward Cleveland, no movement on the total. The Indians open 335 up to 340. Total open and remains at 9. 72% are leaning Indians, 83% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Royals are plus 310 on the money line. The Indians minus $1.55 on the run line. We have Glenn Sparkman for the Royals, Mike Clevenger for the Indians. Clevenger's 8-2 with a 3.11 ERA and a 1.12 WHIP. He's also punched out 105 batters in just 72 innings pitched. Glenn Sparkman on the other side for Kansas City, completely different story. Just 3-8 on the year, 5.40 ERA, 1.43 WHIP. Cleveland is tied with Oakland for that second wildcard spot in the American League. They're also 6.5 games ahead of Boston in that wildcard race. The Indians are 3rd in runs allowed on average per game, 5th in striking batters out. Meanwhile, the Royals on the other side, losers in 5 out of their last 6. They've also won just 21 out of 66 on the road. They're ranked 29th in road hits, which is second to last in Major League Baseball. Now, total-wise, the Royals are 8-1 to the under in their last 9, 40-26 to the under when traveling. Meanwhile, the Indians are 7-2 to the under in their last 9 at Progressive Field. They're 40-26 to the under at home as well. Give me the Indians minus 1.5 and the under 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, Tigers, Twins, 7-10 Minnesota. The Twins are minus 305, totals at 10. Nickel move toward Minnesota and movement downward on the total. The Twins open $3 up to 305, total open 10.5 down to 10 flat. 74% are leaning toward the Twins, 71% shaded toward the over. Right now the Tigers are plus 275 on the money line. The Twins minus $1.45 on the run line. We have Edwin Jackson for the Tigers, Kyle Gibson for the Twins. Gibson's 11-6 with 133 strikeouts. Jackson on the other side for the Tigers, 3-6 on the year, 8.46 ERA, 1.88 WHIP. Not a very good WHIP for Eddie Jackson. Now, the Twins are first in the NL Central, 2.5 games ahead of Cleveland. They rank 2nd in scoring, 2nd in hits. The Tigers on the other side, dead last in scoring, dead last in offensive strikeouts, 2nd last in runs allowed on the road. When it comes to the total, the Tigers are 38-28 to the under when traveling. Give me the Twins minus 1.5 and the under 10 runs in that game.